It's Katie. Liv's going to join me. I'm so excited. We're doing a training for you today on how to make money while you're in coach training, while you're in a certification program, while you are taking a course, and what that really looks like and feels like and requires of you. Oh, Liv's here. Okay, leave. Oh, Liv is joining. Hi, everyone. Hi. This is going to be a fun conversation. We're talking about how to make money while you're in coach training, while you are in class, whether it's with us or another program. I hope it's with us. I really hope it's with us.
Hello.
Hey, look at us, glasses.
I know.
We
Apparently
get older every year.
the
So, welcome everyone. Liv created a beautiful training for us today, and I'm here to co host with her. And yes, hi Saskia. So happy that you're part of our program. So, those of you who are tuning in who know us, welcome back. And those of you who don't know us,
Hi.
did I come back?
Yeah, you've been here. What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know. Mine like spun for a second. Anyways, those of you who know us, welcome back. And those of you who don't know us and are new to our channel or our page, I'm Katie
Right.
DePaula, the founder and CEO of Inner Glow Circle, and Liv is below me here, but she's really above me. No, Liv is our co-founder and COO. Liv, anything you want to say?
Hi, welcome. It's been a while. We've done this.
It's been a while. We missed y'all. So
Yeah.
today we're going to talk about how to make money while you're in coach training, while you're in a certification program. Liv, do you want to kick it off with number one?
Yeah, so we're going to try to keep this short and sweet and like a mini training for all of you because I know everyone's attention span is probably as shorter or as short as mine. So we're going to go through five um, tips, if you will. We're going to cover five things. Obviously, take notes, especially if you're in training or in any training, because it's super valuable. So, the first step, and I actually just texted someone and invited them to this training, and they're like, I think I should come because I don't know what ROI means. So, the thing is to understand your ROI and your income goals. So your ROI is your return on investment. So how much do you actually want to make from this investment? And so one of the things that we always tell people when they join is they're like, if they feel like it's too much money or it's so expensive, what you have to ask yourself, whether you're spending $5 or $500 or $5,000 or whatever, do I envision or do I count on myself to make a return from what I'm investing? So like, am I going to make back more than I spend? Right. And if you literally don't think it's possible, it's probably not the right investment for you. But the first thing you have to understand is what a return on investment is. It's being able to earn more than you put into it, and understanding how much you actually want to make. So if you're investing X amount of money each month, say you're investing $700 a month on a training program, how much do you need to make each month to break even? 700, right? Or more so that you can start making an ROI right away. For example, like I said, coach training is $700 a month at like regular full price on our payment plan. In that case, you would want to be generating at least $700 a month in coaching or coaching related services as additional income from your coach training so that you can be making back your investment, if not more. And there's a bunch of different ways to do that. That's what we're talking about next. But if you really want to get clear on your ROI, you always want to start with what you actually are investing and work backwards from there. So whether you're investing 700 or something else, you have to start asking yourself, from what I'm learning, from what I'm investing in, how can I start to make a return that at least matches the investment so it's a break even or
Mm-hmm.
goes into making an actual return or more than you invested. You want to do number two?
Yeah, totally. So number two is creating an offer. So once you know like top level what your goal is, what you want to create, you want to break it down further and say, well, how am I going to create that, right? So step number two is creating an offer. So we're going to work with this $700 a month goal, right? Or sort of baseline return on investment.
investment for a coach and stuff at this point too. So monthly investment.
Right. So, what are some ways that you could get to $700 a month? You could do a online group coaching program that is $175 a month for like an online live course, and you could have 4 people in it, right? So 4 people that are paying you $175 a month to be in your course. Another idea is to be doing one-on-one coaching at $350 a month. So maybe you're doing a session, 2 sessions a month with those people, and you have 2 clients. Another idea is you have one-on-one client who's paying you $700 a month, right? And that totally works. That's sort of going rate for a coach starting out in the coaching industry, around $600 to $700 a month. Or you could create a virtual course. So let's say you record an online course and you sell 7 of them for $100 each. So many ways to get to that $700 level. And now again, if your goal is $1,400, you can double that. If your goal is beyond that, you keep increasing it or you change your offers. Liv, you want to do number 3?
Yeah, I love that. And I think too, it depends on what you're comfortable with and what your, previous experience is, professionally or like in the coaching realm altogether, so that you can figure out like what you feel the most confident in. Because in order to do number 3, you have to be confident. So the third piece of this is you need to be offering your service or whatever is, whatever offer you've created, you need to be offering it somewhere every single day. So when I first got started in doing that, this was like before, there's definitely no Instagram Live at this point. But I would talk about it everywhere. I would personally email people that were former colleagues, friends from college, friends from high school, family friends, letting them know what I was doing and what the offer was. That's one way to do it. I wouldn't do that every single day, but you could be doing that weekly or having different groups of lists that you email weekly. Sharing it on social media and getting your friends to share. This was huge for me at the beginning and getting referrals. I would personally text all of my friends and anyone I knew who I thought would support me. And I would say, hey, can you share about this on your timeline? Can you share about this on your story or whatever it is? Ask people if you're in training in IGC now. I think that's what I said on the first call with you all. It was like, you need to connect with your classmates. You need to be sharing each other's work just as much, especially at the beginning, as your own, even because their network is going to grow your network and vice versa. And if you already have a huge following, that's great. But if not, it's a great way to get started for free without having to pay for ads, of course, or anything like that, which we still don't like to do. So direct outreach is key, especially at the beginning. If you build it, they will come is not totally true. You have to tell them that it's there. You have to be telling people every single day that it exists. People are not typically at the beginning going to randomly find your website. They're typically at the beginning not going to randomly find your offer. Of course, things like using hashtags and different listservs can help you, but the do is inviting people and talking about it yourself every single day. And if you feel like you're getting sick of talking about it, have other people talk about it for you. Okay. Getting people onto phone calls, like a lot, and we have a whole training in our Facebook group about this. It's a 3-part about market research, but one of the key ways to figure out if the offer that you have is viable, if people actually want to buy it, and people only buy things that they really need, right? So you need to figure out if people need it. And the way to do that is also just to invite people to phone calls. A simple consultation script, meaning asking them who they are, how they found out about you, what they really, really need. And not only what do they need, but what are they willing to invest in because they need it so badly. And again, I think the link to our Facebook group is right in our bio if you're interested in that. And then I can help you find it in there if you can't. But you really want to just be having as many conversations about your offer so that people know what it's like and that you can make sure it's viable.
Tell one new person every day.
Exactly. That's a good summary of my huge speech. Thank you.
Okay, so number 4, this is really important. Like, what happens if it's not working? There's always going to be a time where you feel like it's not working, where what you were doing for a while worked and now it's not working, or it's not working right from the beginning and you're like, oh, I should just give up, right? Been there.
Yeah, been there.
So that's where mindset work comes in, right? You have to have the strategy, certainly, but you also have to have the right mindset for success and knowing how to stay in the game and when to keep going and when to pivot and change course. You don't want to pivot too soon. So you want to look for any part of you that doesn't believe it's possible, that doesn't believe that people will ever hire you, that doesn't believe that you're good enough, that doesn't believe that your work is good enough, that doesn't think that that you're worthy of this. That's really important. Then you want to make tweaks if you genuinely feel an offer isn't aligned with who you are, how you want to serve the world, right? So let's say, and this happens, that you saw some girl on Instagram or some guy and you were like, "Oh, I love that. I'm going to create my own version." But then it doesn't feel right to you. People aren't signing up for it. It's feeling super weird. And you're like, okay, this isn't working for me, right? You have to listen to that. You have to decide to, change direction if you're going to have this work for you. So you want to make tweaks if you genuinely feel an offer is out of alignment. But in general, you want to stick with your offer. You want to keep learning about your ideal client, and you want to remember that every call is ideal client research. Every time you get on the phone, every time you even like go out to happy hour with a mask on, or anytime you're meeting people in like an online mastermind, everyone's an opportunity. Hey ladies, I'm so glad you're here. Every opportunity is an opportunity to get to know more about your ideal client and who you want to serve. Is there like a strange man in the background? And so this is market research. Like, you're always doing market research and you have to see the opportunity in that. Honey.
The straight your boyfriend.
I'm on a live, babe. What would you do if okay, this is like sort of a really good it is a really good reframe. What would you do if you knew that it was meant for you to work with this person? What would you do if you knew you were meant to work with someone in particular? Then how would you show up? Not if you were nervous, not if you were, in your fear about it, but what if you really, really knew you were meant to work with this person? I mean, when I started working with Liv, I just knew deep down that we would have this long life marriage. So I just was so confident, I mean, no, Liv was one of my very first clients. I was nervous when I got on the sales call, but I literally would just drop in and say a prayer every time I got on the phone with someone. I still do this today, where I'm like, God, if this is meant to be, if they're meant to be my client, if they're meant to be in our program, please make it easy. Make it easy for me. Make it easy for them. Let me have the right answers, right? So whatever makes sense for you and whatever works for you and how you sort of connect with your higher self, do that and be asking for guidance. You got to keep that mindset in check. All right. So you want to share your personal examples, Liv?
Yeah, so the last part, or step 5 or tip 5, we're going to go through some personal examples, but before I do that, I do just want to preface this with saying when both Katie and I got started, we had very, very simple, basic coaching packages that we practiced selling again and again and again until it became easy. There was not a lot of variation in what we sold. Not that if you have multiple packages or ways to work with you, that's cool if that's what you want to be doing, but it doesn't have to get complicated. It can be extremely simple. And I actually found for myself that my very first coaching package was called Quit Your Day Job, Create Your Dream Job, or something like so basic. And it was the only sold. And I talked to everyone about it. If they said no, I asked them why, what could make it better, what in terms that would make my website copy better, my social media copy better, my sales calls better, all of that. But it was very simple. And Katie's package was very simple too. So
I had no name. Like,
I didn't even ask you for a name.
When I went through coach training, and I went right like a little bit before you, right? And my understanding is that our working together was part of your self-discovery of, oh, I want to do this too. Yeah. And then you avoided me while you were in coach training because you felt like you were becoming my competition or some weird shit. But anyways, what?
Just kidding.
Yeah. Um, no, but I didn't even know that people had names for coaching
No.
packages. I went through like the most dry, like basic coach training program. Like it was very thorough, but it wasn't like flowery at all. Like there was, it was, it was not, we weren't learning about marketing. We weren't learning about sales. We weren't learning about branding. It was literally like, here's how to coach. Here's the kinds of questions to ask. And I didn't even know people had like cute names for packages.
Yeah, that must have came out like right after we started working together because I didn't know when I hired you, nor did I expect there to be some fancy name with like,
What's your name? But see, that's like such a great point because I think that this is the shit that people obsess over, and it kind of ties into like the niche conversation. Like, you know, I just think that you need to show up and serve, and that the right people will be guided to you if you put yourself out there and share what you do and
yeah, and always be
who you serve. But literally no one is gonna like not hire, like no one is gonna be like, so I'm really like excited about your $600 a month coaching package. Just curious, what's the name of your package? I'm gonna start asking that on dates. Just kidding. I don't go on
What's
dates.
your package?
What's the name of your package? All right. You
Yeah.
can start asking that on dates. You're single.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, but anyway, back to the coaching packages. The unnamed coaching package by Katie DePaula, $150 per session for weekly coaching or $600 a month. And I think you had a 4-month commitment, if I
You know
remember.
what? I liked that when you were paying me. Now I feel like I have to pay you. Just kidding.
Well, I abundance in a lot of directions right
No, we pay each other.
now. Okay, yeah,
Um,
and we enjoy it.
but
For
but yeah, Liv was paying me like you were paying me $600 a month.
Yeah.
And then 800, I upsold you, man.
Yeah, and I was broke as shit at the time too. It was, but I had to make it work because I really saw the value of it. I was like canceling my hair appointments, anything extra I had, putting some of it on a credit card. But I was like, thing so bad. So you did a good job with that.
Well, and I remember, I think I asked you that like age-old question of, well, where could you take the money from? Because you were like, I don't have an extra $600 a month. And I was like, okay, well, like, just let's just think about it. Like, if you want to do this, where could you take the money from? Or when's the last time? I think, and then we also talked about when was the last time that you invested this kind of money? And didn't you say it was like on some trip where you got drunk with a bunch of friends?
I said I was saving my money to go to Jamaica with a bunch of my girlfriends for the
Oh,
price of like the coaching. And I was like, ooh, so like, but also Jamaica 2021, anyone? Because I still haven't gone.
so you canceled, you didn't go with your girlfriends and you started coaching with me
Yeah,
instead?
yeah, I didn't go on the trip.
Dude, that's fucking loyalty to yourself and to me.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna come home from Jamaica, like out 3 grand, like probably with some great stories and a hangover and 10 pounds. And I was like, this seems to make more sense.
I think on a coaching call, that's a question that people can often think is weird or not appropriate. But like, it's a great question asking someone like, well, I know it's a lot of money. The first time I hired my coach, or the time like when I decided to go through coach training certification, I was like, holy shit. But what else would you spend this money on? I remember one client, and we have so many client stories, but I remember one client being like, that's my monthly handbag budget. And I was like, your monthly handbag budget is $700 a month? Like, okay, like, could you like not buy 6 handbags and then like pick up on the handbags when this is done, you know? And so it's worth asking someone how they spend their money and if they'd be open to reallocating it to the coaching investment, only if they want to. Like people all the time say, I really want to do this, but I can't because of the money. Your job is then to say, if you really want to do this, my job is to help you figure out how. Is there any place you could reallocate? And
Yeah.
guys, we're not talking about like, don't feed your kids. Like, no, we're talking about like, maybe like, is there money that you were planning on vacationing with in 2020 that you're not anymore, that's still sitting in your savings account that you could invest in yourself or your business with? Or things like that. So
want to say too, in terms of like finding the investment, like my package was very similar to Katie's. And I believe you also had the option too of instead of the weekly coaching, doing it bi-weekly, but over a longer period of time. And so like if someone really wants to do it but can't come up with $600 a month, we'll use that number. Could they do 2 sessions a month at 300, but instead of month commitment, stretch it out to a 6-month commitment so that you can still like get all of the work completed? And that always also depends on like what goals they're working towards and such and things like that. But that was something that I did as well. I was like, we can either work for 90 days or 3 months.
right.
$500 a month for weekly sessions. So I know it's recommended, and we recommend people start at 150, but for some reason I didn't feel good enough. And I felt like I had to charge 125, which is kind of a silly difference in the long run. But it made me feel more comfortable and confident to sell it on the phone. So I went with that. But my other option was to stretch it to 6 months and have people paying $250 per month for 6 months for biweekly sessions. The only package I sold for a year. And I say because once you get really good at it, you can't quit on yourself. Like always be learning and tweaking and getting information for people that say yes and say no. But don't on your offer because it doesn't sell the first time.
100% no.
I mean, we're on round 40 and 41 of coach training, and I'd like to think that we're getting better every time based on
we are. But we still have challenges, and we're always having to improve, and the market's changing every year, and you have to stay up to date. So I started at $600 a month, $150 a session. Liv started at $125 a session, which was $500 a month, or biweekly at $250 a month. I also launched a group program with some friends that I met through coach training for like $350 a month. It was called Ready, Set, Glow. And then a couple years into my practice, I launched IGC as like a membership. And at the time it was just a community, not a certification course or training. And that was $200 a month in the very beginning. So I had all different sorts of levels of income and tiers of access. And IGC was really a response, as was Ready, Set, Glow, my group program, to people saying, I really want to work with you, but I just can't, swing the $600 a month right now. And so what I started to do was raise my one-on-one prices, $600, then $800, and eventually $1,000. And now it's even a bit more than that. But I started to raise that, but then open up these other tiers of access so that I could still say accessible. And then Liv, I think you also had like a $99 6-week course, right?
I always like to play my game. How do I make an extra $1,000 this month? And so one of the things that I did when I first, it must have been just a little over a year in, because I was in Nashville. It's how I always remember my life based on where I was living because I moved so many times. But I launched a 4-week course. It was $99. I paid one time for live trainings and at the time I was doing a lot of business coaching. So it was how to write your business plan. And I broke a business plan down into 4 steps. I taught it or trained and coached around it for 4 weeks. It was $99. I got 10 people in it and I was happy. So easy, again, like one of the things that I've always found the most helpful is like making things easy and clear, like what the outcome is, so that people they're investing in something, it's clear and they can know what to expect for a return. Just like what we're talking about today, you need to get clear on your return on investment so that you're not like wondering where all of your money is and why it's not coming in.
Yes. So get clear on your ROI and then make a plan. If you just caught the end of this, go back and watch it from the beginning. We're going to post it on our page. You have got this. You've got this. If you're in our coach training, we're so excited that you're with us. We're going to be doing a follow-up to this next week and in our program. And if you're not in our training and you want to learn more about becoming a certified coach, go to innerglowcircle.com/become a coach. And we have a free workshop there all about how to become a certified coach and what it really looks like. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. And we'll see you again soon.
Love you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.